Okay, so I don't usually have to make rants about stuff unless I really care about something. Usually I say this for my podcast, but I don't. My podcast is something for like music and shit like that. This is horrible. I just need to express myself. Even if nobody listens to this, I don't care. It's fine. I just need to vent. So I'm a big horror movie person. I love all the horror movies. And even the corny ones that people don't like I Know What You Did Last Summer, or other slasher films that aren't like Halloween and shit like that, like the goofy ones, like even Killer Clowns from Outer Space, shit like that. Like I love all of them. Even remakes, you feel me? Like I like a lot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remakes, even though they're stupid as hell sometimes. But this, this shit that they put out Netflix. Stop remaking movies, please. Actually, matter of fact, do me a favor. Just stop. Stick to like fucking drama TV shows, bro. Don't touch the horror demographic at all. Don't touch the horror. Don't touch horror at all. Please, just stop touching that category of movies. Thrillers, cool, you got it. Dramas, cool, have it, you got it. Cartoons, kid, just don't put your fucking hands on a horror movie. Every time I watch a Netflix horror movie, I want to rip my fucking hair out. It's the worst shit ever. So, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. I watched it. I'm like, you know what? It's kind of hard to fuck this up for me. Because this is he's like my favorite serial killer. That sounds bad. But, like my favorite character, I'll say. But somehow, some way, they fucked it up. Like I'm like, there's no way you can ruin this for me because I even like the bad ones, the other bad remakes, like even that Trey Songz shit. Like it was horrible, but I could stand for it because Leatherface was in it. And he looked menacing. He was scary. It still kind of fit the whole family thing and how they were like cannibals and shit. Like it fit that narrative. Like it still kind of fit that a little bit, and it still made some it still had some of that element from the original one, and they kept that in there. But this shit with this whole him being an orphan and then since a kid being an orphan, that doesn't make sense. Two, the whole main reason he used to take people's faces and wear them, besides the fact his family was cannibals, was because his face was fucked up. He was like deformed or some shit. So he used to put the faces on himself to make himself look pretty or whatever, or not pretty, but look better. And the nigga has a normal face in this movie. His face is normal. It just looks crazy as hell, like a fucking insane patient. I'm like, that defeats the whole point of him putting the face. Like he just doesn't do that just to do it. He's not just like it's a reason. Like it's insane, but he's not just oh, I'm just gonna cut their face off because I'm crazy. Like that's not his reasoning behind it. It might be part of it, but it's not. It's a reason he does that. Like it's not just because he has a normal face and wants to wear faces. No, his face is fucked up. That was the whole thing with the whole wearing people's faces. Then to top that off, you bring back the survivor. I forgot her name. God, once again, I haven't seen the movie in a minute, but you forget the survivor. The girl who survives at the very end. Bring her back, and she's like this crazy cop that is just stuck on killing him, gets the chance to blow his fucking brains out, and just lets him walk by her. Then waits to go shoot him. Now, I'm sorry, I'm a human being, and I know it will take a lot for me to kill somebody. But I'm sorry, if he's right in front of me and I have a shotgun to his head and he's not doing shit, he killed 4 of my best friends. Nigga, you're getting offed. You're getting off. Kablow, boom, bang, you're done. You're Ratatouille, Stewie, fucking you're gone, nigga. Like, what are we talking about right now? That's almost like the movie, and that's not the only time throughout the film this nigga has a chance to die and really shouldn't be alive, in my opinion. It's so many different chances. And not only did they bring her back, so if you're gonna bring her back, you can at least add other elements to the film without just throwing her randomly in there. You feel me? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It's horrible. Now, I will say this. The one positive to this film, I did like some of the kills. Some of the kills were cool, and some of the effects done on the kills were cool. I feel like they spent more time on the effects when they did the actual, script. It's story. Even the actual setting looks like a fucking film set, at least in my opinion. The only part that doesn't looks like when they crash the car or whatever. and Leatherface kills everybody in the van because the mom dies or whatever. The lady who ran the orphanage dies or whatever. Cool. That's the only part that doesn't look like it's a film set. But the whole town thing, that looks like it's literally a film set. Like, it gave me Wax House. It gave me like Wax House vibes. Like, it just didn't feel real. Like, it didn't feel like a real place. Two, this lunatic has been hiding it. So you're telling me this lunatic has been hiding in plain sight? The nigga who goes around. This is supposed to be the guy who's been doing all this. The guy who's been bodying people or whatever. He's hiding in plain sight. Like, that's just not, bro. I'm sorry. It's horrible. And then the part that really just drew me over the edge. You know, the two sisters survive or whatever, and they're about to make it out. Mind you, this nigga got shot 2 times with a pump shotgun to the fucking chest. At close, not like from a distance. At close range, he got shot in the chest 2 times. Then he gets his whole shit cut open. Not his whole shit like split open. We don't see it get split open. But he takes the chainsaw and literally slits like the front of his throat with it, and he falls into this pool. So he should be gone, right? Like, you feel me? Like, he should be dead at this point. He's been shot. And mind you, this isn't the only time throughout the whole time he's been shot. He's been shot countless other times throughout the night. Like I said earlier with the cop, he got shot in the shoulder. He's been shot a lot. Like, he's been getting blasted. Then he gets stabbed in the stomach earlier too by this other nigga. Like, you feel me? So he's not just, you know, hunky dory, like walking around like without a scratch up to this point. Look, he's been getting his ass kicked all night pretty much. But for some reason, he still has the strength to run up to a Tesla, I'm assuming. That's basically what the car. It was a self-driving car. He has the strength and stamina to still run up to the car, grab her by her hair out the car, then cut her head off with the chainsaw. Then they got the nerve to have him do the thing like he did at the end of the original where he's slinging around the chains. Like, no. God, no. That's just not, I will not stand for it. I just won't stand for it. Netflix, you just need to stop touching the horror genre. Like, I just don't. Actually, no. I'll take that back. If you're gonna touch the horror genre, stick to the script. Like, when you like make the Stephen King films, like, those films are cool. Like, you take the Stephen King stories, you make them like that one with the farmer and his crops and that movie. I forgot the name of it. It's like 19 something. It's a decent. I'm not gonna say it's really good, but it's a decent movie. It's a decent film. But this Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit, it god awful. I don't know how you fucked that up. I just don't see how you fucked it up. I really don't see how you could do something that bad. Like, that is the equivalent. That is that is like, man, I wouldn't even wipe my ass with the paper for this movie with the previews. Like this shit makes me constipated. Actually, yeah, fuck that. It makes me constipated. I don't want to shit watching that. I wouldn't even shit on top of that. Like, I kind of want to throw my laptop out the fucking window. Like, it's horrible, god awful. How do you ruin such a good like? It's not hard. It really isn't that hard. Like you. I don't know what the fuck this was. This was god awful. Now, also, I'm not gonna keep bashing it. I actually like the person they casted for the movie. If they would have just did some effects and messed his face up a little bit, okay, cool, you got it. I like him. He's a big dude. He looks scary. He even moves kind of creepily. I mean, that's not even a fucking word, but fuck it. He moves kind of creepily. Like he moves like a big weird motherfucker. Like, he did a good job. Like, I give him his credit. He did a good job. But all this other shit, bro. Oh my god, this is horrible. Then like, and then it's funny too, because the characters, I'll give you credit for this too. The characters were smart for certain parts. Certain parts, the characters were smart. Like, the white girl, when she was leaving the house, she, instead of taking the stairs like an idiot, she tried to like hop down or whatever and do her little thing. That was kind of stupid too, but I mean, I get what the game plan was. Like, it was kind of smart. Shit, like, oh. Okay, like I was saying. So, okay, cool. So you have the girl hopping down the stairs. Like, I got that part. Then you have the other white girl. She's, like, in the van or whatever, you know, like, and the van just crashed, and she's trying to, like, be quiet so he can't hear her. Now, when she grabbed the radio and started talking, I was like, you're a dumbass. Like, but that worked out, ended up working out. Then she faked sleep, and she had everything going for her. She even took the seatbelt off quietly. And I'm rooting for her at this point because she's being smart. Like, this doesn't happen very often in slasher films. So I'm like, yes. Nope. This nigga comes back around, grabs her, fucks her up. I'm like, damn, that's tough. Like, see, when smart shit like that happens, cool. But then you have the other side of this. You know? Oh my gosh. Okay. Then you have the bus whole thing. The nigga gets the keys to the bus. He starts the bus, drives off, and this isn't really his fault, but like, cool. Like you hear the metal, like, cause the party's in the back with all that shit going on and the loud people. So it's just him really and the black girl in the front. The chainsaw skirts against a tire or some shit and hits some shit or woo up the woo-de-woo. This nigga gets out to check that shit. My nigga, I hate to be this guy and be like, oh, I don't know, I'll be like, everybody says they'll do something differently in a situation. They say they do something, but under pressure, they won't do it. You feel me? I hate to be this guy, but I'm sorry. There's just no way in God's green earth I'm getting out that bus, or let alone opening the door. You feel me? Like that just won't fucking happen. You can't pay me enough to do some shit like that. It's just not happening. Bro, I get he didn't see the black guy's face split in half and shit, which was pretty cool too. And the way the dude got his head smashed in like he was about a bit cool. But my nigga, everybody around you acting frantic and weird, especially the person who's like the black girl comes in and is like real frantic, telling you not to open the door. You open the door and proceed to get out, and then he gets his head tossed in the door, like, and then she doesn't close the door back. You can at least attempt to close the door. Then you can at least attempt to close the door, bro. She just leaves the door open, just watches the nigga walk to the door. Like, I guess she's in shock. I guess that's what that is. But, like, come on, bro. You see this big nigga walking towards you. Like, come on, close the door. That can at least buy you some time. But I guess that doesn't matter either, because then... oh, my God. This movie is very interesting. I don't know what the director thought, like, he was making some sort of statement against Gen Z and shit, like... oh, this is what they do in a time of crisis, just pull out their phones. Bro, the part when everybody pulls their phone out to record this nigga and go on TikTok, the dumbest shit I've ever seen. You... like, what do we do? Like, who's doing that? Like, who's doing... like, that's just not something people do. I'm sorry, that big nigga walks on the bus with a chainsaw and blood all on him. I'm breaking the window. Let's not talk about that. They're sitting here trying to open the window latch with the emergency exit, which I guess is smart. Cool. Like, they're trying that, but it's not working. You have all these bottles of alcohol. You have shoes. You have all your body, like, and none of y'all are going to break the windows. They're just pushing the windows, trying to push them out. Like, that's not working. So break them. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Like, what are we really doing right now? That's all I'm saying. What the fuck is going on? But I will say this too. Another good thing. I'm not just gonna be all negative. That bus scene was cool. When he was killing everybody and chopping them up, that was a cool scene. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that was a really good scene. Like, especially the part where they brought the camera out and showed the blood and everybody tapping on the glass with the blood drizzling down. And like, that was a really good scene. Like, and then the lights in the background, like, that was hard. Like, that's good shit. Like, shout out to the director for that. Like, in terms of the effects, camera shots, and like the actual kills themselves, that the movie hit all the marks with those. I think the movie did a good job showing the effects when people died, the kills, the gore, like all of that was spot on. It was just the story and the decision making of some of the characters that just pissed me off completely. And the fakeness of Leatherface. Like, I get it. Leatherface is a beast. That's my guy. Like I said, that's like my favorite. My boy Bubba. That's my favorite guy. That's my favorite serial killer probably. In like the movie thing. Like, it's between him and like, I guess, Chucky or some shit. But like, as a whole, that's my guy. That's my guy. I like his swag from the original movies. I like everything about Leatherface. He's a cold ass, badass motherfucker. A crazy deranged nigga. Craziness in its purest form. But he's not Jesus, bro. He's not God. Like, he's not just eating bullets. He's not doing knife wounds. Like, the nigga was getting his ass beat the whole entire night. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, you can't. It's a certain extent to the point where, and there was so many other opportunities where he could have died and probably should have died. You feel me? Like, and people like to bring up Michael Myers and Jason. Jason, depending on which one you're talking about, the nigga has been frozen and re-vandalized and all that shit. Then you have Jason bringing back to life through electricity and shit. Like, you feel me? So he gets a little bit more leeway because I can see the reasoning behind why he is so indestructible and shit. Even in the earlier films, the stuff that happened to Jason does not compare to what happened to this nigga in this film. So don't start with that. Michael Myers, okay. He gets shot in the first film, whatever, cool, shit happens. So Michael Myers gets beat up sometimes too. He got shot one time. And throughout the rest of the film, I didn't see that nigga get hurt the rest of before that point. Like, before that point, that nigga was having a flawless victory, chopping niggas up. So, I don't see why that's even being that would be brought up in this argument either. There's certain levels to the point where you can, like, just let niggas get away with getting their ass beat and still killing niggas. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, but all I'm saying is, that's unrealistic that this nigga got shot like 5 times, cut with a chainsaw, stabbed in the stomach with a knife, right in like where the kidney and liver is at. I don't get that. You get stabbed in your fucking kidney or liver. Do you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna drop. You're just gonna drop. You're just gonna drop. You're not gonna keep moving and hitting niggas. Like, I don't care how much your adrenaline's pumping. I don't care how insane you are. Like, it's just not happening. So that's what I'm just saying. That I didn't like how they did that because that was just too unrealistic. Like, it's an extent. It's a line to this shit, and they just crossed it. Fuck crossed it. They just ripped that motherfucker off the floor and just hopped over it or just stomped on it, just pissed on it, shitted on it, because the line just didn't exist at this point. They just said, fuck it. So, yeah, no. 83 minutes of pure shit, and a shit story with shit characters and great effects and kills, in my opinion. I'll say great effects. The kills were good. I ain't gonna say they were great kills, but the effects were all there. They hit spot on. They were pretty nice. Even the part where my favorite part of the movie is like where he gets dude gets knocked on the floor and then Leatherface just hammers that nigga's head in that was hard. Like, that was a good part of the movie. It was just, I wouldn't have made this probably if the ending wasn't so damn dumb. I watched this nigga get his ass beat the whole film, then finally get killed, and he sprints. Like, he's full, like, it's it's cool if he, comes out the end and is just staring at them with a chainsaw. I would have been fine. I probably wouldn't have made this video. I probably wouldn't have ranted like this. I would have just let this shit slide. But the fact this nigga just pulled a Usain Bolt in a full-on dash, caught her, broke the window, pulled her out the window. Mind you, he's been shot 5 fucking times and stabbed. Like, how do you... that's all I'm saying, bro. It comes to a point where you gotta be a little realistic with this shit. You don't gotta be all the way realistic. I'm not saying he should be die off the first shot, or he just stop moving. Like, no, you can push the lines of limits. Cause Michael Myers, sometimes I do be seeing him get his ass beat a little bit, but it's not to the point where he shouldn't be moving at all. Like, it's not to that point. You feel me? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Shock value in this film is piss poor as well. If you're expecting jump scares, you're not really gonna get them. It's a few times they happen, but there's so many moments where they could have thrown one in and they didn't. And then that pissed me off even more. Like, they tried to when the black guy got hit or whatever, they tried to recreate the whole in the original film where he slides the door open and he hits him and shit. They tried to recreate that, but it was just so much worse. And then they even had the little that little noise with the whining or whatever spread throughout this film, and it just wasn't. It did not hit the same, bro. It just didn't hit the same, and it wouldn't even have mattered if the rest of the film was good. All I'm saying is, bro, they literally all they had to do was keep the same effects, change the setting of where this took place, add a few more characters in there from the original, and they didn't even have to be great. They didn't even have to make that much of an appearance. You could at least mention them and had the story changed a tad bit, bro. You could have stuck to the story that's a little bit more, bro. That's all I'm saying. You switched the whole storyline up for even if the storyline that you switched it to was decent, it didn't have to be good. It didn't have to be good. It could have been decent. If you switched to a decent storyline, I would have been fine. I would have been mad. I would have been okay, cool. If the storyline was at least decent. But this storyline is fucking horrible. And then on top of that, y'all giving him a motive. I think that's the other thing I don't like about this film too. Leatherface doesn't need a motive. He just doesn't need that. There should be no motive for him. Jason has his motive, and that's fine. And I get that. But Leatherface doesn't need a motive. He kind of just does what people he does what his family tells him to do, and he protects his family, and he does what they tell him to do. That's his real motive as a whole. That's why I don't even like the other films, some of the later ones where he's falling in love with the radio host and shit. Like it's stupid. I don't like that shit. I feel like he's a beast that just doesn't. He just gets after. He kills shit. Like he don't need no fucking motive, bro. Like stop giving this nigga a motive. Give him his chainsaw and let him just fuck shit up. Like tell him to go and just let him do his thing. This whole the mom dying, the orphanage mom dying. And it does that. Why did you need to do that? I guess that was to get him to snap, but like that's stupid. He don't need that. That's Leatherface. You don't. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's all I'm saying. Like don't touch shit. Just add on to it. Like you feel me? Like you don't have to touch this nigga. Like you just didn't have to. And Netflix, I'm not trying to be a hater because y'all do a good job sometimes when y'all make certain movies. Like some Netflix films are actually kind of decent. Like I enjoyed The Babysitter when I first watched it. It was a funny little horror rom-com. Not rom-com, that's a romantic. I'm tweaking. It was a funny little horror comedy movie. Like I actually like The Babysitter. I haven't watched the second one, so I don't know. Like y'all do decent jobs with certain films. You feel me? Like even some of the Fear Streets are okay. Like you feel me? But and like I said, that Stephen King film y'all remade or whatever was decent too. But this shit, this is piss poor. I ain't gonna lie, this is horrible. This is fucking god awful. Don't touch the don't. I was kind of scared for y'all to remake any other slasher film. Y'all have ruined this nigga's legacy with this one. The Trey Songz one was bad. I thought it couldn't get no worse than that. But this shit is god awful. It's god awful. Like I said, I wouldn't wipe my ass with this piece of shit. Like I'm sorry. I wouldn't even piss on this piece of shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This shit is, like, abominable. Fuck. Oh, my God. But, yeah. Grotesque. Shitty. I'm running out of fucking words. I don't even know. Plablonic or something. I don't know, nigga. It sucks. That's all you need to know. But, yeah. That's pretty much it. That's all I want to say. I don't need to have an outro. I don't have no intro. I just need to get that off my chest. I need to vent because this shit was fucking horrible. Netflix, stop touching shit. Just stick to the thrillers, the screams, or like even why didn't y'all just stick to that? You know, like just make little screams or TV shows or like stop touching. Don't remake no more horror movies unless you're gonna stick to the script. Don't start getting creative with iconic films and horror movie villains like this. Just stick to what y'all do and just stop. Don't stop touching that shit. Just make your little, follow Stephen King's and his little books and stuff like that and remake those. You do good at that. And when you don't change the story and shit, like just stick to what you're good at. Don't touch, cause I swear to God, if I ever see a Halloween Netflix original, like I'm going to probably pop a blood vessel. Let alone a fucking Child's Play Netflix original. Like it's already a few Child's Plays that are out and the remakes that I hate. And please just don't. Just stop touching slasher people. Let's stop touching the slasher genre of people. We don't need no more. Trust me. If anybody's gonna remake it, let it be somebody else. It's not Netflix. And just stop touching shit. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh. All right, I'm done, man. That's all I have to say. Fuck.